back to open borders and bringing in the most oppressive people on earth towards women. You're an old, ugly vampire. And by the way, I love old people. I'm not knocking women that are old. I'm saying she's an old, evil, witch-like woman trying to be the young girl. It's directly out of archetypal fairy tales, like Snow White. Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all? Now, the truth is, your true form is now being revealed. Just look at that person completely turned over to evil. And Camille Paglia, blast, Madonna's humiliating decline, embarrassing inability to deal with aging. Yes, it's what really marks the women. Can they age gracefully and be strong and convert their timeless beauty into the actions and helping their family and others, or do they turn into a evil witch? Well, we know which way Madonna went. Let me just do this. It's a complete overwhelm. It's so hard to even just cover all this. Trump comes out, and I'm sitting there on the river this morning watching it, and for 40 minutes with no teleprompter, just lays out total veritas. But there's all these unfair trade deals. He lists them specifically, and he says, listen, we're just going to equalize whatever they're doing, but we're going to have zero tax and zero tariff domestically to have 50 beautiful, wonderful states from competition in, and anybody that equalizes trade with us, then we will equalize with them, but everybody thinks we're a joke because it's all so one-sided. The Heritage Foundation and all these groups lie to everyone and say that free trade is China with massive tariffs on us and us with no tariffs on them. Let me tell you what a real tariff is. It's Obama saying you can build a coal power plant or have one, but we're going to shut you down. We're going to bankrupt you.
So this is WWCR, Nashville, Tennessee with Alex Jones. So testing, of course, the Tecsun PL380 versus the Tecsun R9012 analog portable, 20 or even less dollar radio compared to a $40+ radio. Interesting to check out, so let's see how this one performs.
I have family that the city for 6 months won't give them an occupancy letter to be able to move into the house they rebuilt. Obama, Blitz and Cole's top cheerleader to its #1 enemy. That's right, that's all part of his deception, his manipulation. Cutting off our power. People go, well, I don't own any coal stock. It was over half our energy just 8 years ago. It's 25% of it now because it's expensive or it's not available. You wonder why there's not jobs. Energy is the oxygen of the economy, period. If you don't have a tank of oxygen, whether you're a foot under the water and can't get up to the surface or 100 feet, you will die in 4 minutes. If you don't have readily available cheap energy, you're done in an industrialized world. They were turning off the lights for everyone but themselves in a consolidation, a greedy, horrible consolidation. And as Trump said, it's not reasonable. And it's reasonable for us to have a demand of a real economy. And it's easy. They admit in the white papers that they're trying to tie down the economy. Everything I'm going to cover today, there is so much. The biggest news was near the end of his 22-minute speech on Friday. And I was there like 70 yards below as he gave that speech. It was so historical. And it was so on target. I knew it was true. I knew he was true blue. I just could not believe the total reversal and the fact that I ever doubted Trump. My gut, my spirit didn't, but now it was just pouring through my flesh that this is a treasure. And no wonder every evil enemy hates him, just as they hate me. And just as they hate you, you bitter clingers in flyover country. Ashley Beckford, a great reporter and researcher and video editor. That's how we first hired her, but then she's great at reporting. She also has courage, and that's really what you need. She went down to the women's march. You know, they just say they speak for women. George Soros does. They've defunded almost every organization that brought people out. An exercise of database control. They put their people on the street. They call her an Uncle Tom, just as they did months ago.
So this is the Tecsun PL380. Of course, we're using only the telescopic antenna on it. We're not cheating with any types of antenna other than the telescopic whip that's with the receiver. So back with the R9012 with WWCR. One of the things you might notice sometimes, there's some Morse code over it. This is not a flaw, it's basically by design. This is a single conversion receiver. So technically, this receiver will get what we call ghost images or images of another frequency because of its single conversion design. So that is probably a drawback for sometimes for signals, because you might have a signal that interferes with another, but it's not on the same frequency. It's just that the image falls on the same frequency of another. So it will happen that you might have that problem. It's something that's not on the Tecsun PL380, which is a dual conversion, I believe. So that means that the intermediate frequency is so high that there's no images or ghost images that appear anywhere else. But you know, for $20 you can't expect much more than that, because it would be a $40 radio instead of a $20 radio if they did a double conversion here. So back to the R9012 with WWCR and Alex Jones.
Some interdimensional spider had struck their soul out. Man, I'm scared. I've never been scared. We're skip this break until now. And I was scared for them because it's like they're demon-possessed folks. It's like we're in a sci-fi movie. And the women were like these bloated, hateful. The faces they would make were so demonic. They go, yeah, like that. I mean, I call them goblins because they are. We've got the videos. A lot of you watch them live. We're going to get the clips and slow them down, and then they, yeah. I mean, other people will take those pictures and show those, but I don't care. That's what they do. They deceive. They say, he took the Martin Luther King bust out. Then they show the crowd at 8:30 when the police hadn't even opened up the barricades, let anybody in yet. And they go, look, nobody showed up for his crowd. Trump comes out, counters them, shows he had the biggest crowd ever, and they come out on the news and say, well, CNN says, well, we know Hitler had big crowds. And he went to the CIA memorial in Langley at the CIA to speak. And it was just incredible. Now, if you're a TV viewer, most of you have already seen this, but radio listeners, I'll describe it. They showed it. They were smart. They didn't show it when it was totally shut and all the checkpoints were shut so you couldn't get in down Pennsylvania Avenue. They waited till they just opened it. And I mean, this happened like 5 minutes after they opened it, so that there were still some crowds that looked like little circles. But of course, then it completely filled up. Even though there were Black Lives Matter and all these Soros groups beating people up at the entrances, and the police were letting them do it. But just think of how evil the media is, that they ran this deception, and they had people in the airports, to me and to my crew, who flew another flight, saying, you're losers, ha-ha, we saw the photos, no one showed up for your rally. And they're still running this. CNN last night was still saying Trump didn't have a big crowd, even though the Metro and all the evidence shows the biggest crowd ever. But I mean, and then when Trump defends it and shows the truth, they say, oh, he's arrogant and is always defending himself. Yes, this is a process of exposing what servile liars you are. But he goes to CNN, Freudian slip, same group, CIA, and people are sick of the cheering. They're sick of the evil standing ovations. And then they cut back to CNN, and the host is like, look at him in that hallowed crown. Who does he think he is even being there? Oh, at that memorial area when these CIA people don't like him. And it was the total opposite of him just getting standing ovations, and they cut to, how dare the president of the United States.
And then back for last time to the Tecsun PL380.
None of it makes any sense. But see, they've green-lighted the media, do whatever you want, be as nasty as you want. And they're for a spirit of keeping us poor and dominating and being bullies, so they've been hired because they go along with that, and so it kind of accelerates the recruitment of more scum, and they're led by a bunch of pedophiles at the top. We all know that, and so this is what evil looks like. So I can tell you, there's a great spirit of wickedness that was in these people, And after they lost, they really showed their fangs and who they are, and they are now running around bullying and screaming and getting in everybody's face everywhere. And that's why it's important for all of us not to go back to sleep, but to redouble our efforts. I told my crew when Trump won, I said, I want you to bring back in the guy that builds the ESPN studios, the Fox News studios, you name it, in this warehouse here that we just cleared out. I want a giant war room. We're going to call it the war room, and I'm going to do daily briefings in there, and I'm going to start a whole new show every day.
So what do you think? Which one seems better? The Tecsun PL380 or the R9012? I would say in this one, the Tecsun PL380 seems to be a little better. It seems to be a little more sensitive. Also, it seemed, because of the fact that it doesn't have the Morse code interference, of course it wins also on that side. But yet, you know what? If you had that little $20 radio, you could still listen to this signal, and it's pretty amazing. So hope you enjoyed these videos. If you do, please subscribe, give us thumbs up.